totally not leaving the forest temple halfway through so I can go and access the fairy fountain right outside because I almost died at 2 Stalfos in the last episode. Not at all. What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play Ocarina of Time 3D. In the last episode, we started the forest temple, got ourselves a fairy bow, and then I almost died. In this episode, we're going to continue progressing through the forest temple, trying to make our way to the end as fast as we possibly can. Probably not going to be able to finish it up in this episode, but I'll give it my best shot. The forest temple at this point actually turns into quite the maze of a temple, so again, the adult Link temples are a little bit harder than the young Link temples. They're a lot more confusing, and that is for sure. Like, the forest temple is a really good example of that. Like, if you go up here, I just want to point this out real quick. There's a locked door up here, so we can't actually make any progress. We need to go back through the temple and find more keys and stuff like that to actually get anywhere. But first things first, let's fight this first Poe. This is one of the 4 Poes that we saw at the beginning of the temple that stole the fire, so in order to get it back, we pretty much need to kill these guys. Now, there's a few ways you can go about attacking them. You can sort of do what I'm doing here, and wait for them to appear, and when they do, jump attack them like so. That'll take 3 hits to kill them that way, or you can use your bow and arrow, and that'll take 5 hits to kill them. So obviously I'm inclined to do the jump attack method because it's a little bit faster. Also, I believe it takes 2 jump attacks and 1 arrow to kill them, so let's test that theory real quick. Yeah, there we go. So you can actually jump attack them twice, and then just use your arrows for the 3rd and final blow. Whichever you prefer, really. I'm not sure exactly which way is the fastest. But anyways, after you defeat that first Poe, you'll get this giant chest, which will give us the second generic temple item, which is of course going to be the compass. Kind of late in the dungeon, actually. I mean, there's only a few chests left that we need to collect, and most of them are actually really important, so the compass, not really that needed. Now, I do want to point something out here. If you want to be awesome, and maybe, I don't know, speedrun this temple a little bit, use Favore's Wind right here, and then warp back here after you get all the keys that you need. Now, I'll make a note of when you can actually warp back here, but I'm not going to do that because obviously I want to show off the full dungeon and the path that you would normally have to take if you didn't get Favore's Wind just yet. But yeah, normally I would abuse the heck out of it just to make your life a little bit easier. But now we're going to start backtracking through the dungeon a little bit. This is obviously the room that we originally went down to get to the room with the fairy bow in it. Same deal as the last room. Shoot the paintings to get the Poe to appear and then kill the Poe. Not all the Poes are going to be fought like this. Only 2 of them are. The 3rd one's a little bit different. The fight is the same though. And then the 4th one, the fight is completely different. You actually need to use arrows for that particular fight. But let's worry about this guy. Oh, actually, I think all the Poes are actually feminine, now that I think about it. They all have names. The first one's Beth. I think this one's like Jolie or Jolene. Not entirely sure. You can actually just target them and then have Navi tell you their name, but I'm not going to bother. It's really not that big of a deal. It's really not important anyways, so let's jump attack again. And for our 3rd and final hit, why not? I'll just use the arrows. They usually give arrows after you kill them anyways. Plus, we're going to have time and time again where we can actually restock our arrows as we go through this temple. But there we go, we got that second torch lit, and we get a nice little chest from that. Nice small chest, actually. And what are we gonna get from this small chest? Let's find out. A small key. Now you might think, oh, well, now I got the key. Let's go back through the area and go unlock that door. Well, not a smart idea, because you're gonna notice that there's gonna be more locked doors. And you're not going to really make any progress by going through there right now. So we're going to continue backtracking through the rest of the temple. And we're actually going to want to go to the room with the twisted hallway, which, what do you know, it's right over here. I mean, that is one thing that's really nice about the way the forest temple is designed. They designed it in such a way that you do have to backtrack, but backtracking is really simple. But once you get in this room, target the eye switch with your bow and arrow, and check it out. It actually untwists the hallway, which is really cool. I like this mechanic a lot. Like, it dynamically changes the entire dungeon by just shooting 1 arrow. So now we have access to everything that was on the wall or the ceiling or whatever, and we have this big fancy chest right here that we can open up. So, let's see what's inside. And there we go, we got the boss key. So that is something that is new to the adult Link temples. You actually need a key to access the boss rooms. So let's jump down here and kill these freaking blue bubbles real quick. Get out of here. Well, I guess that's one way to kill them. Alright, Come here, sir. Oh, yeah, by the way, I did go and get a fairy. You can probably see it. I was supposed to make mention at the beginning of this episode, but I got it just in case we encountered or we got into another sticky situation. There's no more Stalfos to fight, thankfully, but I just wanted to make sure I had one because I'm not the best at the boss fight in this temple anyways. So you'll notice that we're actually in that very first courtyard of this temple as well. So what I want to do is jump off over here onto this little outcropping. Be careful not to fall over here. If you do, you have to go back through the entire dungeon again, and that can be annoying. But I do want to collect this gold skulls, and that should bring us up to about 49. There's only one more that we need to collect in this particular dungeon, and after we get it, we should be at 50, which is really awesome. But let's take out this giant Deku Baba real quick. Get out of here, no one likes you. Seriously, alright, there you go. Now, don't go directly ahead through this door. Go off to the right. We will be going through that door directly ahead of us because that actually takes us back to an area that we do need to go to. But in here, we have a floor master. So floor masters and wall masters are clearly different. Holy crap. Can you just let me, like, attack you for, like, 1 second, dude? That's all I really need is, like, 1 second of your time. Honestly, floor masters usually aren't this hard for me. Like, they're really, really easy to fight. They normally just charge at you. You can jump attack them right afterwards, but he seems to be, like, using his green invincibility a lot more than he usually does. So, after you attack them, just do a quick spin attack, kill all his babies that he spawns, and then you're good to go. So, this chest is actually going to contain our second small key that we need. There we go, and we are a little bit low on magic, so let's collect some. I think this is actually the first time that we've collected magic, so yes, that's what magic looks like, guys, in case you didn't know. So now that we have the second small key and the boss key, at this point, what you could do is use Favorite's Wind to go back to that warp point I told you to set earlier on in the video if you did. If you didn't, then you gotta do it the normal way that I'm going to do it, but the reason I didn't do it is because there's actually a chest in this room that I want to collect. I pointed out that there was a golden eye switch last time I went through here, and if we shoot that, a chest will appear from that. So, let's go back to where that is. I believe it's like somewhere on the second floor. I think it's like right down this hallway and then off to the right. Yep, okay, there it is. Sweet. So, let's target that real quick. Now, although you have to go really, really far out of your way just to get this stupid chest, there's really nothing important in it. Like, you only get a bundle of arrows, so it's completely useless, which is why I recommend planning Favorite's Wind and just, after you get in the keys, just warp back there, because all the rest of the dungeon is just backtracking to get back into that room in the first place. Like, what we have to do now is climb back up to where that eye switch is. We have to hit that eye switch with an arrow to retwist the hallway, and then walk all the way back into that room to where that is just to make progress. So if you just plant Favorite's Wind and use that to your advantage here, you can skip all of this backtracking and save yourself a ton of time. But I just want to get that chest for 100% completion and stuff like that. Even though the backtracking is kind of annoying though, it's really not that bad because I know I've said this a lot, but the Forest Temple is just designed so well, and you gotta give Ocarina of Time a lot of credit. Its temples and dungeons are designed really, really well, especially for being like the first 3D Zelda game. It's amazing that they did such a good job with it too. And I mean, Ocarina of Time does hold like the framework for a lot of the future 3D Zelda games too, and that's why I think a lot of the Zelda games are successful, is because Ocarina of Time, its framework is successful. So I mean, it works. When you take elements from something that already works, chances are it's gonna work again. And it's cool because you can see all the elements that you know, they've taken from Ocarina of Time over the years, and all of the elements that they sort of left in Ocarina of Time over the years, and it's really interesting from a game design standpoint. Anyways, let's just go through this door, and Navi is going to alert us to the fact that there is a wall master in this room. So, actually, you know what we can do? We can just jump directly from this platform onto the one that we need to be on, and screw the ladders, they take too long anyways. Let's just roll past all these green bubbles. They're stupid, and I don't want to waste time on them. Now, this room is kind of cool. This is a puzzle that I use a lot in Ocarina of Time, but what they want you to do is actually shoot an arrow through the fire onto that eye switch right there that's covered in ice. But what you can do is actually just use Din's fire if you picked it up, and this isn't going to work right here because I'm nowhere near as close as I need to be. So that was smart. Yeah, Din's fire does have a radius to it. It doesn't just like completely light a whole room on fire. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And maybe this might work. Although, nope, because the platform keeps spinning and since it follows you, that's not going to work. trust me, using Din's Fire is possible. I've done it before. I'll try it once, the legit method, but if it doesn't work, I'm doing Din's Fire just to prove my point now. Like, this is totally possible to do with Din's Fire, and in most cases, it's easier. Like, I've just walked into this room, like, gone close enough to it, used Din's Fire, then walked out. It's fairly simple to do, but honestly, if it doesn't work now, then I'm gonna feel really, really dumb. Thank goodness it did. Alright. I feel less stupid now, and it automatically activates the switch too, which is kind of nice. But that will actually twist that hallway for us, which is kind of cool, and that'll allow us to go through there now and access everything that was on sort of the wall of that room. Again, I really like the mechanic of just being able to change the whole dynamic of a dungeon by just flipping one switch. So, ignore that staircase off to your left that pretty much leads to absolutely nothing, and instead, fall down here. Something that I do want to point out in this room real quick, that door over there just leads to the adjacent courtyard. There's no point in going out there at all. Navi's alerting us to the fact that the ceiling falls down in this area, so make note of that and where the safe spots are. It's pretty easy to go through here. Just run over to the first switch, which will unlock the door at the end of this hallway. Ta-da! And then run over to that chest in the middle, and you should be good to go after that point. Like, there are shadows on the floor to alert you where the skeletons are, but as long as you avoid them, you should be fine. And this chest has just a bunch of arrows in it, so completely useless to us again. Although I did kind of need the arrows, so not really that useless. Let's just go through the door, I guess. There's really no point in spending any more time in that room. You'll notice in here we got a bunch of shadows coming from the ceiling, which are coming from those blocks. There's also a painting of a pose, so let's shoot that. And the blocks will begin to fall. So now we have a minute to solve this very, very easy block puzzle. If you put all these blocks together, it makes the Poe, and then you have to fight the Poe. So at least this Poe is a little bit different than the other two, right? The other two were just sort of shooting the paintings. This one you actually have a little bit of a puzzle to solve and a time limit, and honestly, they give you more than enough time to do this. The puzzle only drops in one way, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure it's not random for each game, because I've played this multiple times, and I've always gotten the same exact set of blocks, so I'm pretty sure it's always the same. But as soon as you push the last block into place, the third Poe will appear. I actually don't remember the name of this Poe, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going to take the time to identify it with Navi. I'm just going to take it out. The fight is exactly the same as the other two Poes, so just jump attack it twice or 3 times, and then shoot it with an arrow if you want to do it. Whichever way you prefer, it doesn't really matter to me. Just take it out as fast as you can. Oh man, that didn't really work. Yeah, the second they start that spin animation, you cannot hit them. It's kind of annoying, honestly. Like, you have like maybe 2 seconds to get your jump attack in before they will start that animation. You just missed your chance. But let's just take it out with an arrow now, and then we will move on. Go away, Poe. It's so violent the way that they die. Their like corpse like burns up, and then their ashes of their corpse burns up a second time. It's really painful, honestly, if you think about that. Anyways, now that third and final Poe is done, we have access to this hallway now. More importantly, though, this hallway will lead us back to the main hub of this dungeon. And something really, really creepy is about to happen. So you can kind of hear it already, but if you look down there, that's our fourth and final Poe. But listen to the sound that it's making. It's almost as if the Poe is crying. Kind of weird, honestly, but let's go fight it. So this Poe fight's a little bit different. This one has the ability to clone himself 3 times. And basically what you want to do is pay attention to whichever Poe spun around at the beginning of this fight. You want to target that Poe and then shoot with an arrow. Of course, I picked the wrong one. And I picked the wrong one twice. Well, this is just going swimmingly so far. There we go. It's really not that hard, though. So every time the Poe appears, you'll notice that one of them spins around an extra time. That's the one that you want to target. Now, this boss fight is only difficult because of the way that L targeting works in this game. When there are a lot of enemies in close proximity, it's kind of hard to target the specific one that you want. So just do your best to get as close to the real Poe as much as possible. Target it, and if you do hit a fake Poe by accident, don't worry too much. They give you enough time to hit at least like 2 or 3 of them before they will attack you. Now, this entire boss fight, like I said, you can actually beat it before they even attack you, like so. It only takes about like 4 or 5 hits. I think I wasn't really counting there. But yeah, it's a really, really simple mini-boss. I would honestly consider the Stalfos more of a threat, but we are going to end off the episode here. We're a little bit low on time, so once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.